Okay, I'm really trying to find another way to start these videos other than, hey guys, hey, you there. Welcome to another episode of Flavor and Fiction. So it's like 10 o'clock at night, but I decided to do the synopsis now because I have to do the recipe in the morning, so it'll be nice and fresh for me to take to work. So I decided to break it up so it won't be too much for me in the morning. So the category this time for the 2019 reading challenge was a book you chose solely based on the cover. And I chose this beautiful book here. It's called Girls Burn Brighter by, and don't kill me for mispronouncing the author's name, Shobha Rao. That's the best I can do. It was a great book, and I picked out a couple of quotes that really stuck with me just to give you an idea. Okay, the first quote: "Every moment in a woman's life was a deal for her body. First for its blooming, and then for its wilting. First for her bleeding, and then for her virginity, and then for her bearing, counting only the sons, and for her widowing." And that pretty much sums up how one of our main characters feels about what girls have to go through. Specifically girls, I'm not saying women, because they're like young teenagers growing up in India, and they have to go through some very adult things. So the book starts out with Purnima, who is being raised by her father. Her mother has passed away, and she eventually meets Savitha. Her father basically Purnima's father uses her to make beautiful garments to sell. Like, she pretty much supports everyone. And then Savitha, who is looking for work, ends up being taken in by Purnima's family. They become the best of friends, and things are going well. Purnima was scheduled to have an arranged marriage. But when they did a meeting, after the meeting, the groom backed out, which was like a huge scandal, because it's one thing if he backed out beforehand, but after he saw you and backed out was like, oh my God, we have to hurry up and get you married fast, because if no one may take you, which is death, basically. And she's at the ripe old age of 14-ish. So, it's time, apparently, to get married. So they're able to find someone who is not too far away, who has agreed to a quick marriage for whatever reason. Everyone's kind of skeptic, like, why is this guy, like, the rumor's out that she was jilted, so why is he so quick? But they don't ask questions. They're like, let's just hurry up and marry her off. So as the wedding approaches, things are going well at home, but then one day something horrific happens to Savitha, and she runs away, and Purnima is destroyed because they were the best of friends. She was her only solace, and now she doesn't know where she is. But she ended up getting married off as planned and had a horrific life for about 2 years. So the groom, her groom, apparently was missing some fingers, and I'm guessing that's why he was quick to marry. He treats her horribly, and the mother-in-law treats her horribly because she's so upset that they haven't produced a child in 2 years, and she treats Purnima like, a slave. And when Purnima sort of suggests, well, maybe your son's the problem, look out, all hell broke loose. And they ended up basically brutalizing her, and she decided then and there to get out. So she ran away and ended up in a place where she doesn't know it, but she basically just missed Savitha. Their paths, the book goes back and forth between their perspectives, and their paths cross more than they realize. Purnima, her goal now is to reunite with her. So she's basically following in her footsteps on purpose. Whenever she finds out where Savitha went, she figures out a way to get there, even if it means America. So the book actually ends up in America. And it goes back and forth between like brutal, horrible things happening and then so much hope being sprung up, and you're just like, your heart's being like, ah, like what's gonna happen? It's such a beautifully written and heartbreaking, like heart-wrenching book. But and again, I'm not gonna spoil the ending for you, but it was this is one where I might say I love the book so much, but I don't think I want to see the movie if there is one. I think I'm good. I'm okay. But when it comes to our recipe, our special ingredient this time is banana. And if I had known we had banana coming up, I may have saved my banana nut recipe that I did before. But we're going to be making banana bread with a little special extra something. Chocolate chips. And I'm making it in the morning because I want to, I'm not going to eat that whole loaf of bread. So I'm going to take it to work and let my coworkers have at it. So the next time you see me, I will be getting ready for work in the morning. But I definitely recommend this book. It was so intelligently written and so poignant about how basically just the tragedies and the triumphs of girls. Again, not women, girls, because that's when it starts. The other quote that stuck with me was, what fools we are, we girls, afraid of the wrong things at the wrong times, afraid of a burned face when outside waiting for you are fires you cannot imagine. Whew. So I'm going to leave you with that. Gonna have a good night's sleep, and then I'll see you in the morning for our banana bread with semi-sweet chocolate chips. So here we have all the ingredients laid out aside from the butter and eggs, which are still in my refrigerator. You want to set the oven to 350, spray your pan lightly, and then coat it in a light coating of flour. You want to start with 1 cup of sugar in a bowl, and then you want to melt down half a cup of butter, or soften it at least. Mix them together for about 2 minutes. Then you want to stir in 2 eggs that have already been beaten, which I didn't do. Sue me. It'll work. Okay, that's what it should look like. Now we want to mash in our bananas. You're supposed to mash them separately and then add them in, but I decided to go a different route. Now the reason why we're using bananas, the reason why it's a special ingredient, is because it was the girl's favorite snack. Savitha couldn't afford them, so she used to have them at Purnima's house, and she would mash them up like this, gross, and eat it on toast. And then Purnima, just because you want to do what your best friends are doing, started doing it, and it ended up being one of her favorites. So you want to put in 3 bananas, 4, either 3 large ones or 4 smaller ones. I just chose to go with 3. That's what it should kind of look like. And then you want to put in 1.5 cups of flour. Yes, I don't have a mixing bowl. It's in the dishwasher. Leave me alone. A little baking soda, salt. Stir the dry ingredients together and then mix them into the wet mixture. And that's what it should sort of look like. Then add in just a little bit of vanilla extract. Mix that all in. Now for the secret ingredient, the chocolate chips. You want to do 3/4 cup, and then you want to mix it with some flour just to coat it. And then you want to add that to your mixture, and you want to fold them in. Not stir, because you don't want to break up the chocolate chips, but just fold them in the mixture. And then put them in the pan, smooth it out, make sure it's not, more at one end. Make it kind of even. And there it is in the oven. We'll see it soon. And here's our finished result. You're supposed to stick a toothpick in it to see if it's done. You will get chocolate on the toothpick, but that's okay. So let it cool for a bit and then try it and then run to work. So here I am. The chocolate chip banana bread is done. Here's my piece that I'm about to try. I may have used a little too much chocolate chip, if there is such a thing. Okay, it's still like on fire. but I gotta get to work, so we're gonna do this. The chocolate makes it. Surprise, surprise. That's why I like the end pieces, because it got a little crunch on the back. It's delicious, and I think Purnima and Savitha would both agree. But on that note, I gotta run to work, but I will put a link to the book and the recipe down in the description. And thank you again for joining me for another episode of Flavor and Fiction. Gonna get back to this.